Hey garden friends, Landon Gilfillan here from Pepper and Pine Garden Design, and this is part 2 of the Grow Your Corn from Seed Indoor series that I'm doing this season to see how this process of growing corn from seed indoors instead of directly planting it into the soil, how this does and how if I feel like it's worth the effort of starting it indoors. So far, I am saying yes. So it's been at least a month, maybe 4 or 5 weeks since I started the seeds indoors. I started 2 different trays. I started a tray of sweet corn and a tray of popcorn. I think there was maybe like 4 or 5 days between each variety. And the only reason I've waited this long to get in the ground is because I've been waiting for those cooler nights to finally subside, which it looks we're kind of past the 40-degree weather and into the mid-40s, which this corn should be able to handle. And I am putting it in the ground, and let me show you what I've got here. This is actually my popcorn that I'm planting, which is the one that I planted, like I said, about 5-6 days after I started the sweet corn. So the sweet corn's even taller than this, and almost every single cell germinated. So I had pretty much, I would not say 100% germination, but I put a few extra seeds in there in case if you didn't. So I got 48 popcorn seed plants and 48 sweet corn plants. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not going to make that much corn, but it's going to make enough for our family. I still have corn in the freezer from last year, and I did a lot smaller amount. So this is gonna be great for us. And these look really good. These are gonna be way ahead of where my corn was last year, because last year during this time, and it's May 15th, I was putting corn in the ground, and I may have even waited further past that to put the corn seed in the ground. So I'm way ahead of schedule on these, which makes me really excited. And I was trying to decide where I was gonna put my popcorn variety, because I had my sweet corn going in about 250 feet over there in another garden, and was trying to figure out where I could put this. And as it turns out, I have a nice big open space right here among my costata romanesca zucchini and scallop squash. So this will actually be a perfect spot for it. I have about 20 feet probably, which will be plenty of space. So I'm doing rows of 4 with about 6 to 8 inches between each plant going both directions. So 6 inches this way and 6 inches this way. And I don't even think I'll make it all the way down the row with these. So this is great because the squash will cover the ground and keep the ground cool and keep the weeds out. And of course the corn will enjoy the coolness around its roots. Now I may or may not actually come in and put some pole beans here, because I still have to plant my pole beans, which I'm going to be starting inside this week. I'm starting all my beans inside. I'm not in a rush to get those in the ground, and I don't want spotty germination. So I'm going with starting everything inside. Like I have mentioned in several of my videos, I'm moving towards starting almost all my seeds inside except for carrots and parsnips. So I would say so far I'm really liking starting this indoors. And as far as like, is it worth the effort? I used this tray that has 48 cells in it. It did not take up a lot of space. This did not take a lot of space up on my shelves. And because they're only going to be in here for 4 weeks tops, I didn't need to worry about transplanting them to a larger cell. So this is actually perfect. I started these knowing I'd be able to move them out in 3 to 4 weeks. And that's right about where we're at. And so they're not going to suffer from being in those small cells for very long. And like I said, the weather's at the point where they can tolerate the mid 40s, and then really starting here in a few days, it'll be 50s and above, looks like here on out, unless we have some sort of weird cold snap, which, you know, it is Michigan. But yeah, so I'm really excited about getting this in the ground. Like I said, I'm planting it here with my squash that I've kind of got on either side of the row. And then I'm going to plant the corn down the middle. And then, of course, the sweet corn will be going over here in this bed. Just let me show you real quick from a distance. See over there, I've got black tarps laid down over there. That's where the sweet corn will be going with my winter squash, my ultra butternut, and my butterkin squash will be going over there with some sunflowers and possibly beans. So that'll probably happen tomorrow or later this week. But for right now, I'm gonna get this row of corn planted. Oh, and I should mention, in case you're wondering what all this stuff is, we've had some cold nights here the last couple days, and this is what I use to cover my plants, just to be sure it doesn't get too cool for some of these peppers and squash. However, I've been like pleasantly surprised with how well these plants have done with this cooler weather, because I've got all my peppers, my summer squashes, my eggplants, a lot of the plants that generally are recommended, oh, cucumbers and some melons, you know, they're not recommended to be outdoors below 50 degrees. But I have some of these plants planted in the back of my house. They were just some leftovers, and I put them out there just for fun. And I did not cover those plants, and they look perfectly fine. Now, the other night it got down to 41 degrees. It was only supposed to get down to like 43 or 44. This weather drives me insane. And then I woke up the next morning, it said 41 degrees. Now I had everything covered, so I wasn't too worried about it. But I went out and checked on those plants, and they look great. So I'm sitting here wondering why I'm taking the effort to cover all these plants the last 2 nights. And tonight I may just let them go and see what happens. It's only supposed to get down to like 45. But, you know, I just wanted to take it, you know, be a little on the cautious side. And even though they're only going to be exposed to those, you know, below 50 temperatures for like 3 or 4 hours, yeah, you know, play it safe. So I may cover them up, but again, I've been watching these plants in the back do perfectly fine. So that's what all the buckets and the frost cloths are out here. I wanted to get these plants in the ground. They needed to get in the ground, but I had to take some extra measures just to keep them warm while these last few cold spells, cool nights, I should say, are still among us. Well, this could not have worked out more perfectly. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows, I'm pretty sure, of 4, and just a couple little extra ones. 12 rows of 4, yeah, so 48, check it out. So I basically did get like 100% germination, or at least I got all the plants that I had tended to grow. So 48 popcorn plants and an orange cat. So I will keep you updated on how this goes. I'm excited. I'm gonna come out and give these a really good water. And I think this is gonna be really a great thing. I'm excited about this. And I can't wait to get that one back there planted with all my sweet corn and my butternut squash. I'm ready to get that thing in the ground. So the goal is this week, and I'll try to get it on film, if not part of this video, and keep you updated on the process. So again, my name is Landon Gilfillan with Pepper and Pine Garden Design. If you've enjoyed this video or any of my other videos, please subscribe, ring the bell, and share the video. I'd appreciate it so much. And as always, I'm Landon Gilfillan, growing gardeners and their gardens, and we'll see you in the next video.